delighted to introduce Rennie Davis next. In the 60s, he was coordinator of the largest anti-war and civil rights coalition in the U.S. He was one of the Chicago Seven, described by the New York Times as the most significant political trial in
So in about 1 minute, we have a real special treat. Rennie Davis. Many of you know the work of Rennie, one of the original Chicago
appearance by one of the most prominent leaders of the 1960s.
He could be here to join us from Boulder, Colorado, as our keynote speaker today.
Introduce Rennie Davis to the stage. Please give him a warm welcome.
Let's give a warm round of applause to Mr. Rennie Davis.
Yeah, I want to just start by saying, like many of you that are here tonight, I've spent, I guess, much of my adult life just wanting to make the world a better place. Although I'm certainly the first to admit that my ideas for how to change the world have gone through some changes over the years. I can tell that some of you actually know that the 1960s really did happen, you know. Well, you had to kind of be there, you know, because it was suddenly you were just surrounded by, it seemed like the entire generation wanted to make the world a better place.
Every fiber in my being just completely knew that our generation was about to ignite and explode, and that we would come together to change the world. I became the coordinator of this coalition, and we called for 500,000 people to protest the war in Chicago at the Democratic National Convention. And on August 28th, the whole world was just completely mesmerized and shocked watching the riots in Chicago. I was speechless, really, watching police just wade in and swing nightclubs and bloody heads of demonstrators. We started chanting, and our chant was, "The whole world was watching." And we went on with this chant over and over. The whole world was watching, the whole world was watching, having no idea that at that particular moment we were being watched on television by more people than watched the first man landing on the moon.
From Chicago, then, well, I was indicted by the Justice Department, myself and 7 others, and for what we had done in Chicago. And so on the opening day of our trial, it was really great. The New York Times came out and called this the most significant political trial in U.S. history. It was really great because what it meant was not only was I able to be in this incredible theater of courtroom drama, but every single night after the trial was over, I could go out and be a part of a peace village. And this went on every single night, month after month after month. You know, a really small peace village was 10,000 people. And when the governor would call out the National Guard because I was speaking to a peace village, it was really great. Then we'd have our peace village in a stadium. Then after the trial, we called for a national student strike. And literally 90% of American colleges and universities in this country just walked out of school.
Then, one afternoon, I turned on the television, and there was John Lennon and Yoko Ono in a press conference. It was different. They were, I think they were somewhere in a hotel in Canada. They were in bed, okay? That was a difference, but their words were clear enough. They were joining the 60 generation movement. And almost immediately I found myself in an apartment with John Lennon in Lower Manhattan, making plans to bring 1 million people to the Republican National Convention. And our idea was to go to 42 cities on the way to San Diego. And John would bring the entertainment and also have an unannounced guest entertainer at each venue. I would organize the speakers. The first stop was Ann Arbor, Michigan. We had a 25,000 indoor seat venue. Tickets sold out in 45 minutes. John's guest entertainer was Stevie Wonder. The speakers were the Chicago 7. There were just high fives all around. We were back. This is happening. And then Nixon's Justice Department came down with all fours, okay, on John Lennon and started deportation.
Before that occurred, one day we were just hanging out. John looked at his watch and realized that he had an appointment and was going to go to a recording studio. And so wanted to know if I wanted to come along, and I really wasn't doing anything, so yeah, that's good. Yoko was there, myself, I was sitting in a chair, and John was sitting at a piano, and he started to play the song that he called Imagine. And the words went like this: imagine all the people living life in peace. Now, right above this recording studio, there was a huge, huge billboard. Okay, and on this billboard, there was a picture of John and Yoko. Okay, and the billboard said, "You can have peace if you want it." Okay, so at this particular moment in my life, I was actually in a really incredible discussion with John and Yoko about how do you bring peace to the world. And John's position, basically influenced a lot by Yoko's, beautiful spiritual philosophy, was essentially what you have to do is imagine peace in yourself. You have to imagine peace, you have to believe in peace, you have to be peace, you have to think peace, you create peace in the Mahatma Gandhi spirit that if you want to change the world, you have to change yourself. I loved his humor. I loved his courage, that he was willing to associate well with the likes of me, and yet I was sitting there and I was thinking, okay, imagine peace, put 1 million people in the streets at the Republican National Convention. Imagine peace, 1 million people in the streets. And I'll just be really honest with you, at that time, it wasn't even a question, I mean, to be effective and to really make a difference and to really shut this thing down with the war, I cast my vote for the 1 million people in the streets. Okay, now, here we are, years and years and years, and, too many years later, and this discussion is still going on today. You basically throw the rascals out? Do you march on Washington? Or really is peace an inside job, actually? Is it possible that the only way that you really can bring peace is to, like Gandhi said, bring peace to yourself? So I guess today I'm just here to sort of show up and, make this statement. Maybe I should call it a confession. I don't know. The confession is that in the historic dialogue between Rennie Davis and John Lennon, I would say today that John and Yoko were right.